Hey everyone, it's me Michelle again. In today's video, I am finally getting to do my kitchen update makeover. It is both budget and renter friendly, so if you're interested, just keep on watching. Starting off, we're going to be working on these cabinet doors. Now, these were like this when we moved in. This house was built in the 1960s and it was a family home up until our landlord bought it. And before that, it had sat vacant for about 10 years. We knew when we moved in that there was a lot of small cosmetic things like this that had to be done to it. But for the amount of rent that we ended up paying, it was actually in a good neighborhood with a good yard size, good schools. So we took the hit for the cosmetic part. So my brother-in-law took the door off and he color matched the paint over at Lowe's. And this was one of the things that we got the permission because he knows that all this stuff has to be done, but it was just one of those things. If this is a regular rent house, I do not suggest painting. That's one of the main things, is not to paint. But because he's aware that these things had to be fixed, we had the okay to patch these small things, and we tried to color match as best we could.
How much different is it, John? How much different is it?
What do you mean?
Is it just because it's wet?
It's white. You can try it. I don't know. It don't look.
It's not my color?
It's kind of light.
Or is it because it's wet?
We could. Kind of light. We'll see after it dries.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, even though we had the permission to do this and it was stuff that had to be done anyway, I was sweating when I thought about this being the wrong color. We had already figured that if it was, we were just going to repaint it with the color we had bought, but it's still, I'm glad it actually ended up being a match. Now moving on to the backsplash area of the kitchen. This was hard to get to lay flat. That is a layer of all I can think of is blue graph paper, but it's that, and then it's a layer of flowered wallpaper, and then it is tile behind it. So, I mean, I guess I'm gonna just be the fourth one and paper over that too, but that's why it's not laying flat in all these places. I just tried to do my best to get as close as I could around these edges. I also ordered a new switch plate because that is extremely yellowed from being old. And this was another area where I really struggled to get it to stick. It was right in this corner and then also behind where my microwave is. The corners, the original paper is already having issues and bubbling up. Plus they have these metal strips and it's kind of a mess, honestly, in terms of what's there, but I'm trying to work with what we got. When I was picking out the pattern for the back of the backsplash area, I was trying to pick a pattern that would be the most forgiving in terms of both the texture of what was already going to be behind it, and that I am also still learning. Like, this is my first ever time doing a backsplash with contact paper. My first ever time working with it, period, was when I did my coffee bar makeover. And I just kind of wanted to give myself something that would be somewhat forgiving if I were to make a mistake. I tried my best to line the bricks up, but I know there's some places where you can see a line, and thankfully those just ended up being places where I was putting like an appliance in front of it. Now for the countertops, I went ahead and I used the same contact paper that I used on my coffee bar so that they would both match and kind of tie into the kitchen together. If I could go back and change what I had originally done the coffee bar in, which I probably will at some point, I will change these. They stick very well, but the paper is extremely thin. And I say that as in, like, even when I was trying to straighten it out and smooth out the bumps with that card, if I pushed too hard, it would just completely rip the paper. Now, it works for now, and I like the way it looks. If I replace it, it will be with something exactly the same, just thicker or a similar pattern. I still like the butcher block look and the brown warmer countertops. But yeah, I don't suggest this paper for putting on the counter. Also, those cabinet doors do not close tightly. That one on the left will, but that one on the right by the wall, I don't know, it doesn't close. That's the one that we took off the hinges to color match, and it still didn't go back on right. I'm not sure what has to be fixed. We'll figure it out eventually, but that's out of my scope of capabilities, as my 10-year-old would tell me. Also, this paper, with it being thin and everything, it did have a bad tendency to wrinkle like that. I can't remember if this is the first or the second time I put it on, but I did rip a complete and total strip of it off because the wrinkling was just so bad. But I guess it kind of doesn't stand a chance either, because if you look at the countertops, are warped in some places, so it's just not going to lay flat. If you squint a little bit, you can't notice, but it looks pretty good. And this is what it looked like after I had finished. I really love the way that this turned out. I did run out of contact paper for those 3 shelves in the glass cabinet, but I will get those and fix it when they come back in stock in my local Walmart. But I really like the way that this turned out. Now the cabinets do not feel like they are fighting against everything. It all kind of flows. The neutral colors help it not be too busy. All together, with the cost of the contact paper and with the paint, it came up to about $100 to get all of it done. I had bought 2 rolls of the brick, and I actually only ended up needing 1, so that was good also. And that's it for today. If these are the kind of videos you guys want to see from me again, just let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!